for people who, don't know that, the State Department issues like travel advisories for all the countries in the world, and 4 is the worst, 1 is the best. And historically, El Salvador has been a 3, which is, it's not quite North Korea, but it's, one step below. And they just moved it to number 1, which is, even a lot of European countries are number 2.
Germany's a 2.
Germany's a 2, yeah. So from the State Department's point of view, you're much safer coming to El Salvador than you are going to Germany. Would you say that as a German?
I would say that, and I've said that for a while. The thing is that if I talk to fellow Germans, there's a very strong sentiment of, things are getting worse here, but it's not as bad as over there. So it's very interesting. Sometimes the public opinion or narrative lags behind reality, and then at some point you cannot deny it any longer, and then, then things change.
Yeah.
And this is one of those big steps towards that.
Well, I think, too, a lot of times we're blind to in our own environment, because even a lot of Americans, I think, would be surprised to see what other countries say about traveling to America and all the warnings that they issue for that.
Oh, so. Yeah. When that happened, I was talking about it on my social media, and I got comments about how El Salvador is now safer to travel than Germany in the eyes of the U.S. I got a lot of comments also from people from the U.S. who said, it's even safer than insert city in the U.S., which if you then asked the Germans, they'd be like, yeah, of course, because Germany is way safer than your U.S. city. So, there's perception and there's reality, and sometimes they overlap, sometimes they don't. But you cannot deny that anywhere you go in El Salvador, it is incredibly safe now. So.
Yeah. What are some of the differences you've seen in the last year as far as development or things that are happening? And then going beyond that, now that you're operating your business out of El Salvador, what are you seeing in the business environment?
One thing that I noticed straight away when I brought my company here is that there are new laws all the time, and it's not in the way that I was used to before working in other countries where new laws usually meant more bureaucracy. You could tell here you have a country that right now they are geared towards economic reformation, like economic growth and whatnot. Everything they do is to remove bureaucracy. So there would be new laws, and then our accountants, our consultants would come and say, you can do this thing now, which makes this easier. And I'd be like, why? Yeah, they just passed this law in February or whatever. And I love that. And that's one of the reasons why that's one of the factors I mentioned, right? What makes a Bitcoin country. It's very easy to get set up here, and you receive a lot of help. And the government makes it as easy as they can for you on certain levels. There's trouble on other levels, which has to be...
There's always going to be some bureaucracy, and running a business involves paperwork and report, things, the legal requirements. But